it's a little series called Vintage City that my mom's put together. And we had a little art show to sort of help Tent Makers Ministries get started. And we were able to raise enough money to pay for our printed materials. So I'd like to, you guys to go ahead and grab one of these and hang on to this and think about this. I'm not going to insult your intelligence and stand here and read this to you. But I just do want you to be aware of Tent Makers Ministries. What we want to do is we want to come along guys like Glenn and guys like James and help them get things started. When we moved in, I started scratching my head and just saying, where do you start? There are some giants in the land. There are some problems. There are some issues. There are some things going on in the West End. And I really would like to rebrand the neighborhood. And I started thinking about where the West End was located. And to me, the West End is sort of a series of 5 zip codes that make up a whole bunch of different neighborhoods. I'd really love to see a map of what all those neighborhoods are called and where the people would say, where is Portland? Portland is a part of the West End. It's an important part of the West End. California is a part of the West End. Shawnee, Chickasaw, Russell, the West End is an area that is just rich and beautiful and wonderful. And it's in the upper west corner of Jefferson County. And I sort of could, because of the negative connotation that the West End has with things, and you'd be shocked at both, I'll be politically incorrect, both white people and black people when they say, where do you live? And you're meeting people, both are just shocked when I say, oh, we live down on Market Street. White people, what? Black people, what? I was at the bank today, and one of my neighbors who goes and picks up aluminum cans every morning on her way to work for recycling, I think her name's Penny, but I'm not 100% sure. We've only talked a couple times at the little candy store down the street, and she saw me in the back, and she just said, why would y'all move into the hood? Do you like this? Did you do this on purpose? Was this an accident? It was no accident. And we believe that we were put in the West End for a reason.
That's right.
It's not a short-term fix. We're not there to slap a Band-Aid on something and walk away. We're not in to come in and... Tent Makers Ministries is not a one-man... It's not Tent Maker, and it's certainly not about Chad Rehnberg. I'm not out trying to become a mayor or win an election or get accolades from anybody. I just want to see the entire West End totally transformed and renovated. And I believe that that's possible. I believe that that can happen. I believe that if we bring the right people to the table, we can get some solutions. And a lot of this stuff that you guys have really infected me, this Neighborhood Institute,
that's right,
with some the visions of having the neighborhood centers wherever you can go and get your coffee, you can go and get your milk, you can go to church, and there's this town square. Well, every neighborhood in the West End, what if every neighborhood had a town square? And if we were going to put one in all the different neighborhoods, which neighborhood would you start with? Which neighborhood has the right property, the right people, the right surrounding, the right connections, where all of that could happen? I've been a what-if guy for my entire life. In middle school, when I was in 8th grade, we did this Romeo and Juliet play, and we got to perform it during the lunch period for our friends. And during C lunch, things ran long, and they weren't going to let the 6th graders watch it. Our play that we had spent months working on, and this injustice was just not right. So I listened to my parents growing up, who sort of survived the hippie generation and the Jesus movement and all that, and we had a sit-in, and everybody in the play stayed, and we were 8th graders, so we had some big influence with these 6th graders, and we got every 6th grader, and when the bell rang, nobody moved. They had no idea what to do. And so it was a little civil disobedience, but when I saw that injustice going on, I had to do something about it. And so we went and we talked to everybody, and we got the whole cafeteria to sit in. And then in high school, 5 minutes are up already. You're kidding me. Could I just tell real fast? I'll be done. Just a couple quick stories, and then I just want to name my main point for Tent Makers Ministries. And I'm sorry, you guys. After the sit-in, this was on into high school, my youth pastor got married and went on his honeymoon, and one of my friends had the key to his place to go in and water the plants. And we just thought it would be hilarious if we wrapped everything in saran wrap in his house. And so I said to my friends, what if? And one of my friends, John, his dad's this big Amway guy and has all this money and drives this Mustang. And, what if we did this? And so John financed it with his dad's money and bought 4 industrial-sized rolls of saran wrap. He had 2 trees on the side of his driveway that we put so much saran wrap on he couldn't drive his truck through. His remote control was in a ball of saran wrap. Just, he didn't know what was in it, but he knew something was in it. And his couch, everything. His whole entire house just wrapped in saran wrap, all his furniture. We thought it was hilarious. And I've used this power of getting lots of people together to do stuff for some not so very good things. Yeah. And now God has put me into a place where there is a great need, where there have been some incredible injustices, where some things have gone on that just shouldn't have, where there are some people that just have some need. And so we want to come in and we want to help. Not come in and do everything. I'm at a bit of a disadvantage because don't tell anybody, but I'm white. And I don't want people to think that I'm coming in to save the day because that's not it. I'm not coming in to save. I care about Shawnee neighborhood because that's where I live. That's where I'm raising my kids. That neighborhood is incredible. I found Louisville because my parents live in Chicago, my wife's parents live in Huntsville, and now we're in the middle, 300 miles from both. And I came here to attend seminary. It was a perfect place. I looked at Google Earth and therealtor.com and I found 263 homes under $40,000. And I thought, oh my goodness, this is incredible. So what if we did something with the students who are standing on the street? I pulled up and I forgot to tell them, these are some of my neighbors, but I just drove up and they think I'm a cop. And I pulled this camera out and they were like, don't shoot, no, I won't shoot, you won't shoot. Can I just take your picture? This is for a project. But there are a lot of students. This is this is on 43rd Street in Market. And I didn't have to drive far to get these pictures. What if we did something with the students standing on the street corner in every boarded up home? This is Rob. Rob learned to paint today at Youthville. We're in this apartment for New Directions, and he's having a real hard time with his GED, and he's failed it. He's got one more chance to take it this year. But we were able to really encourage Rob today because he did an incredible job painting this room all by himself. We walked in, Rob, good job. And he rides in the back of my truck every day. This is another boarded up house that needs to be torn down. This is Adolph. Adolph just passed his GED, and because his landlord is been foreclosed on, him and his wife and their 2 kids are going to have to move. They're getting kicked out of their house. This is another boarded up house. This is James. James was coming to here with me on the first couple times, but he's delivering papers early in the morning and working at Youth Build all day, and Monday night was cutting into his sleep time. He has 2-hour sessions during the day where he sleeps and rests, and he just couldn't continue on with this. But I'm really hoping that James would be a powerful piece in this movement to transform the West End. This is the house right next door to the one that we fixed up because I didn't have the ability to take the before picture. But Henry lives in this house. He happens to be white. His granddad built this house and the 4 houses next to them. And their family moved in and lived there. The other houses have been sold off, and after he went through his divorce, he lives there. He needs a new roof. And I had some people that were going to come and do it this summer, but then they moved to Atlanta. He still needs a new roof. And we're hoping to be able to find a way to get Henry a new roof. But that was exactly what the house looked like that we fixed up. And there's a picture of that in the pamphlet of what it looks like now. I don't think I took one in this slideshow of what that house was before and after. But when me and my buddy Steve started fixing up these houses, we were doing it with 2 high school students down the street. And Lynn Rippey with Youth Build Louisville found out about us. And Lynn connected me with Mary Mayros and connected me with Neighborhood Institute. And now it's just over. This is just insane how it's all been happening.